Hey guys, and welcome back to Convos with SHERA'E. It's your girl SHERA'E, and tonight's topic is friendships, relationships, and family boundaries. I have a very special guest, Lady J.
Hi.
Hey girl, thank you for being a part of tonight's episode. This means a lot to me. So for those of you who don't know, Lady J is my co-host on our other podcast, Jimin and Talk. So make sure you tune into that one too. Click like, share for both. So hey girl.
Hey girl, how are you? I just wanted to thank you so much for having me as a guest on Convos with SHERA'E. And
No problem.
I'm forward to having this conversation with you.
Absolutely. I couldn't think of a better person to have on tonight's episode pertaining to this topic.
Aww.
For those of you who don't know, we have also been friends for 20 plus years.
Over 2 decades.
Yeah, over.
Over, yeah.
Emphasis on the over. But so we're not going to linger too long. We'll jump right into the questions and get down to the nitty-gritty of this topic. So my first question to you, Lady J, is do you think that setting boundaries in a friendship, let's start with friendship, do you think setting boundaries in a friendship can save or hurt the friendship?
Okay, so in my opinion, I believe that setting boundaries, if done correctly, can save a friendship. No one wants to feel used, or feel as though a friendship is one-sided. I have been before, and it's not a good feeling at all. In any relationship that you have, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship, you just want to make sure that it's a give and take,
Absolutely.
Like I mentioned before, not one-sided. As far as setting boundaries in friendships, I think a lot of times it's something that's unspoken,
Absolutely.
something like, I found a new friend. Now, listen, these are my boundaries, like.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. Definitely weird. But, yeah, and I think, boundaries, it's just all about respect,
Absolutely. If you don't have respect in your relationship, your friendship, family, whatever, any other encounter you may have with another human being, if there's no respect, then it's pretty much pointless.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. I have been there with the one-sided friendship, and honey, it's not a good look. It's not a good feeling. You instantly realize where the respect level is for the both of you. I just feel like if a boundary annoys the other person or people, like it's too much for them to handle, even if it's an unspoken one, like you've been doing something for someone, or you've been doing things just out of respect. You don't call them past a certain time. You don't ask too much of them because, everybody, you do come to the realization the older we get, a lot of us are dealing with our own, situations and issues. You don't want to be selfish and it's all about me, give me. Yeah. But if that bothers the other person or people, then instantly you should recognize where your relationship stands, where the both of you or, however many people are involved. It should instantly give you a clear picture where you stand with these people. Respect. I know we keep saying it, but it's very important.
Yeah.
Friendship, relationship, family wise, all the way across the board. I think it's a give and take thing. And for those unspoken boundaries, I think that comes with time, like you and I,
right.
Again, we've been friends for quite some time now, but we never sat down and had a conversation about, well, girl, don't call me, after this time, and don't come over. We never had that discussion, and quite frankly, never really needed to have that discussion because the respect level was already in place.
Right. Yes, everything that you said, totally agree with. And also it comes with, I guess, like getting to know the person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Communicating, getting to know their morals. If you get to know a person and their morals, then, just certain things you just not gonna do.
Right. And you kind of get an understanding of their mindset.
Right. Exactly. Like it's just things you just should not do. Once you do get to know that person and their morals and what they stand for, definitely not asking them anything that you think that they will be uncomfortable with,
Right.
And whatnot. And one of the things, like with my friends, when it comes to boundaries, I just say anything that I do, whether in my romantic relationship, my friendship, business, whatever, I have to live comfortably with the consequences.
Absolutely.
That's where I stand when it comes to boundaries and stuff.
Okay, so ultimately we have come to the decision that boundaries can save friendships,
right,
if done correctly. But on the flip side, they can hurt friendships, but then is that a friendship? Is that a friendship? If it hurts the friendship, in my opinion, I can't speak for anybody else. Some people have been through a lot, and sometimes trauma is all they know. So when a person is ignoring them or kind of giving them the raw end of the stick, it draws them to those people, and that has nothing to do with the other person. I mean, it does. It says a lot about the person who has the lack of respect and consideration for that individual, but it says a lot about the person accepting the raw end of the stick. Mm-hmm. So it can hurt some friendships, but then, like I said, is that really a friendship?
Right. And I think when so we're using the term friend, right? And a lot of people think that anyone that they pretty much know, is a friend. Like,
where you going with this?
And everyone is not a friend. Even me, I have been guilty in the past of saying, oh, this individual is a friend. It's like, no, they're probably just an acquaintance. So back to what you were saying, if it does hurt the friendship, they probably never was a friend from the get-go, and maybe more.
Right.
But you thought that they was a friend. We kind of like moved them up.
Right. Promoted them without them actually doing the work.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, acquaintances, friends.
Girl.
But I'm pretty sure we'll go into those type of friendships later on.
Absolutely. We'll break those down because sadly, a lot of people older than teenage years and mid-20 years, because you have up until like your mid-20s with the crazy and stupid decisions or whatever, right? So society says.
Right.
Some people still can't decipher what a true friend is. Right. So, yeah, we'll go into friends, acquaintances, and closet enemies.
Ooh, yeah.
Girl, we'll go into that later. Okay. So, same question. Do you feel like boundaries can hurt or save a relationship?
Yeah, definitely. It can it can save a relationship, and it can definitely hurt a relationship.
Yeah.
I think.
Ooh, say that again.
Expectations. I think a lot of times, and I could be wrong, but this is just my opinion. Sometimes when we get into a relationship, we have these really high expectations for our
Yes.
partners, but we don't communicate that.
Mm, girl. Gems.
Yes.
Gems. It's the truth. It is the truth. Oh, girl.
Yeah, no.
So I'll just give my generalized answer for that question. Yes, I agree with you. I do think boundaries can save a relationship. I do believe boundaries can hurt a relationship. I have been on both sides of the spectrum when it comes down to relationships and boundaries. Now, to kind of like piggyback off of the expectations, some people have unrealistic boundaries, aka unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I don't feel like, with boundaries it has to be major. You don't have to send out the smoke signals like this is what I want and whatnot. Like if you got to do all that, it's not the relationship for you. It's really not.
Communicating. Go back. Communicating. Making sure you communicate and get into
Yes. Okay. Can I just say, in friendship, relationship, and family, because those are the types of relationships that we're going to be discussing tonight, every last one of them, no matter which dynamic you're talking about, communication is key and respect.
Yes.
Those two go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You just can't. I've tried to play around with the thought, and it's like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, definitely have to communicate. I'm so serious. And respect. That respect is like so it's so key. It's so essential.
Yes, it is. So guys, Lady J is a newlywed. I am single. So
not for long though.
No, not for long. Okay. Nah. So now that we're discussing boundaries in relationships, whether they hurt or save the relationship, you will get two different aspects of the relationship. She's married. I'm not, but I have dated. I have been in long-term relationships. So that's where I will be coming from, from my point of views, just to put it out there. Okay. So how can boundaries save the relationship? Let's start there.
Respect. Okay. Like I said, it's going to keep on going back to those keywords: respect, communication, expectations, all of that. Definitely respect, because when you're especially in a romantic relationship, everyone wants to feel respected.
Absolutely.
Oh, so, and when the respect is not there, when the respect is lost,
you're in trouble.
You're in a lot of trouble. And even with respect, you think it's something that, everyone will pretty much have an understanding, but some people don't.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't.
You want
to. I'm not going to
chime in on that.
I'm going to chime in on it, but I don't want to reference or give anyone too much shine. Like, I'm good on that part. But let's just say my last situation, the lack of respect, unbelievable. The crazy expectation, unrealistic expectation, unbelievable. And it's like, just having that boundary where a person, again, just speaking my personal truth at the moment,
Right.
having a person want all of your time, all of your attention, like all of your everything. Disclaimer, I'm a mom, not of one, of two. I
Beautiful.
work full time. Yes. My beautiful babies. Okay. I also am very, very family oriented.
Yes, you are.
So I try to divide my time up, not because I feel obligated to. Like, I literally enjoy spending time with my children. I'm not like, most parents like, oh my goodness, when are these kids going back? No, I have fun with my kids. Like, there is boundaries, even with my children, there are boundaries. And we just have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with my parents, and I literally enjoy having time, time with them, spending time with them, laughing, joking, whatever. We're a traveling family, so we're kind of like always on the go.
Yes, y'all are. I can keep
I like, to travel. I cannot sit my ass still sometimes. Um, and just to have somebody want to be a part of my situation, and not blindly either. Like, I'm very upfront that this is what I have going on, and this is the amount of time that I can give to this at the moment. And as we continue to get to know each other, XYZ, things will naturally change. But to come in the gate like, oh no, I need you to call, I need you to text, I need you to hold up. Not gonna work for me. Exit stage left. So, like I said, ain't gonna get that person too much shine, but that was the issue. Now, in that sense, those were boundaries that I had to speak on, because as I continue to get to know the person, as you stated earlier, I started to realize his morals, his way of thinking, his way of being. And it was just like very impulsive. Very like, oh, we just gonna go with the flow. And it's like, well, I don't have go with the flow kind of time at the moment. Who's to say the dynamics of my circumstances are not going to change? But at this very moment, if you want to be a part of what I got going on right now, this is what I have to give. Now, that's not to say I'm going to neglect, what you may need to get out of the relationship, as long as you're not neglecting to give me what I need out of this relationship. But when I see it's one-sided.
Yeah.
So in my last personal experience, boundaries hurt the relationship. It did not save the relationship. It actually dampened, like the person could not respect my boundaries whatsoever. Unfortunately. I mean, unfortunately for him, but
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. Even, back to, your accent with the whole boundary, can it hurt or save a relationship? Even if we say, okay, boundaries can save a relationship, which it can. I also believe that they may have to be compromises within that.
Right.
So, you guys meet and agree on, okay, for instance, I know you mentioned something about, with the time and, you got to call, you got to do this, all this other stuff. Okay, well, maybe sometimes I can't talk to you as long, but if I can dedicate at least like compromise at least 15, in the morning to talk to you, and maybe like 15 minutes at night, that's good.
Girl, I tried that. I definitely believe in compromising. Like, it's not just my way or the highway.
Right.
I don't have that attitude. I definitely don't mind compromising. Now, again, with that being said, I'm compromising, and even in the midst of me maybe being engaged in an activity with my children or with my parents or something, I'm still calling, texting, or whatever. And that was not
No.
enough.
Got it. Yeah.
So, sometimes it hurts the relationship. But then it kind of just, opens your eyes. Like, what to look for the next go round. In my case.
Right.
In my dating case, until I find the one.
Yes.
Or he find me, whatever. We working on it, girl. We praying on it. Telling you, we praying on it.
You're right. Like, it's definitely a learning experience, no matter how you put it. Communication is key. And like I said, those morals, I think for me, I really try to get to know a person so I can get to see their morals, because once I know how what are your morals, I will hope I can gauge, I'll have discernment, to see, how you move. And
yeah, absolutely. Ooh, girl, that spirit of discernment.
Ooh, yes. Let me tell you something. That is one of my prayers. I'm like so serious.
Absolutely, mine too.
One of my prayers is that I have that spirit of discernment, and I'm always praying for wisdom, even in these in my 30s. I ain't gonna say 30 what, but my 30s.
Yeah, girl, we still look good. Yes. Okay, so what about boundaries within the family? Because, girl, that can be it could be a little tricky trying to set those boundaries when people they're like so hell bent on, well, we're family and family's thicker than water. Girl.
Yeah. Okay, so boundaries and family dynamics, family boundaries. It can definitely hurt or but I'm not gonna lie, it has hurt for me. I think it has hurt more, which pretty much sucks. But although it may have hurt the relationship, we always tend to get back,
right,
on good terms, and say, the reason why I set the boundaries that I do. And especially, I do want to talk about family boundaries, especially when you do start to date.
Oh, girl.
Sometimes sometimes your family is used to you always being single. And then
available.
Yeah. And then you get a new boo, you don't have as much time with them. And then that's when you probably find yourself having to set boundaries. So for me, in my personal life, I really don't have too many boundaries I set with my family. One of the things that I do talk about, they know, I'm a newlywed, and, I just ask for, if you want me to do something for you, please give me at least 24 to 48 hours notice. That on the whim, like, I try not to do that because my husband works his ass off. Okay. And he works long hours.
Okay, brother friend.
Okay, brother friend work. Okay, so with that being said, the time that we spend is precious, and my closest family members, they understand that, and my closest friends too. My sister friends, y'all understand, and very appreciated. But yeah, for the most part, I don't have to set a lot of boundaries, but I have had to in the past. So.
Yeah, girl, I can relate. I can relate because I am the single one. So it's like, outside of work, outside of the children, she's a great mom. She take care of them kids, she handle her business, she work. But after that, I was thinking maybe we could just go run some errands.
I knew it. He like, girl, what?
Run some errands for who? Because my household is good. Like, what? Yeah, girl, yes. And then oh my gosh, the crazy feeling that you get is like, it's so hard in the beginning.
It is.
It's so hard to just flat out say no.
Yes.
When
that was me.
When you've had that family dynamic, like, saying no to a family member, it come easy to some people when they are not as family oriented or didn't have that. Right. But, in my case, like I stated, I love my family to death. And we can bump heads all we get ready, but you better not mess with one because you got all of us. Okay. But, yeah, I have found it hard to say no when you just don't feel like running those extra errands. But it's like, oh, well, it's not like you're seeing anybody. And then when you are seeing someone, well, I mean, you got to spend all your time with this person and he ain't your husband. Well, how is he going to become my husband if we're not spending time together to get to know each other? I don't want my relationship to come off as a task. Like I'm looking through a book trying to figure out, oh, I could pencil you in right here. Mm-hmm. I like to know that I enjoy spending time with my significant other. Right. I know, like, it comes naturally. Like, oh, I can't wait to get off work. Make sure the kids are straight, and then at such and such time, I'm about to go spend some time with my boo. Right. Right. I don't like having to set those boundaries, but the older we get,
you do.
I'm realizing that it may not be an easy task, but to me, it definitely saves your family relationship. Yes. And it can hurt. It definitely can hurt in the beginning, but it depends on the dynamic of your family and like what type of relationship you have with whatever family member you are trying to set the boundary or boundaries with. Right. If you don't have such a great relationship, it could come off offensive and whatnot. But if you have great communication, respect, it may feel a little weird at first, but I feel like overall, everyone will kind of like get on board for the betterment of your relationship with that family member, but also for you to have time to grow. Even if you're not in a relationship, I need my me time.
Yes. Can we talk about that for a little? Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. I need my me time. I like to release all the stress of the day's work, the going over homework, trying to figure out what we cooking for dinner, or, oh my goodness, I came home and the house is a mess and now I got to clean up. Like, I need my me time to decompress, to, reevaluate some things within. Right. Try to set up a different plan. Maybe I'll plan my next day a different way so that I'm not going through my days are not repetitive. Right. But yeah, girl, I think it's needed. It's very much needed. The me time and the boundaries, whether you're in a relationship, dating, married, or just need your you time. I feel like family boundaries are very necessary, and not only just family members. Not only just parents or siblings. Sometimes you need them boundaries with your children too. Absolutely. So overall, I feel like it can save it. It may start off weird, but ultimately, hell, they might realize that, oh, you know what? With this little bit of time, I was able to get this accomplished instead of worrying about, oh, what am I going to do with so-and-so? And what am let me call so-and-so and see what she's doing today. Sometimes we need somebody to be like, yeah. And when you're forced to have that time to yourself, you realize some things. And I think that's the problem. The problem is sometimes people don't want to be left to themselves. Yes. and be forced to think about some things that need to change, or, you know, they could improve on, or so on and so forth. So they find something to hold on to. So in my case, let's run to the store. We both have cars. You could have took yourself to the store. Girl. But, you know, no offense, nobody. You know, I ain't shouting out nobody. I ain't trying to point the fingers at nobody. I'm just saying so.
No, it's very true. I mean, like, SHERA'E, I think you summed that up very well. Like, I totally agree with that. Because me, like, I need everybody that know me, my closest family and friends know Jasmine. That's me. That's my real name, Jasmine. Lady J, she needs her own time. She needs her me time. Okay. I am my mother's only child. I have siblings on my father's side. So I've had a lot of time to myself growing up, you know. You know, I live with my cousin, but he's 6 years younger than me, so it's a little different. But yeah, but like, I need my me time. And I'm one of those people, I like to be in nature. I like to read. Sometimes you just need to just be in the moment. Sometimes, guess what? You don't feel like doing nothing.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it 100.
Absolutely.
You just don't want to do anything, and that is okay.
Yes. I wish people understood that.
Yes.
That I don't know where this whole facade that if you're not doing something every moment,
right,
every waking moment, then you're slacking.
Yes.
Self-care is a part of getting things done, because if you're not okay, how the heck are you supposed to reach that goal? How are you supposed to get there when you're internally and probably physically breaking down because you think you got to go every moment? Right. It is okay to take a day and just listen. I don't want no phone. I don't want to watch no TV. I just want to do nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. And trust me, girl, I have them days. So I feel you on that. And I definitely feel you on the nature, water, you know, pure and natural things, girl.
That's
okay.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's where we talk about, you know, boundaries. You don't always have to give someone an explanation on why you can't do something. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Listen, I can't do this, you know, I have something else planned, or whatever the case is. And people should respect that. So
absolutely. There go that word again. Yeah. Respect. Okay. So now that we have summed up pretty much the friendship, the relationship, and the family dynamic of boundaries, whether they hurt or save those types of relationships, what are some of the spoken or not spoken boundaries that you may have with some of your friends and family members? And maybe just one or two, like in your relationship, because girl, I tread very lightly on marriage grounds. Okay. No. Just one or two things that may work for you, you and my brother friend.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So let's do family and friends. So okay. One of the I guess you can say is an unspoken boundary, being that you know, I'm married now. I just ask, please do not call me at ungodly hours.
Oh, absolutely. Hell, I'm not married and I still believe that.
Right. And vice versa. I won't do the same. You know, if you do call, I'll definitely know it's an emergency and
right.
Attention ASAP. So that's one thing that I say, you know, I just have respect for. Some other unspoken boundaries, I'll say no physical, no verbal, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse. Now,
okay.
I know this may sound extreme. I know it may sound extreme.
Girl, it needs to be said. Somebody somewhere needs to hear this.
Right. And these are, like I said, these should be unspoken ones, but this is just for me, like some of my expectations. I'll just give like a couple examples. So like for instance, for physical, like I don't expect you, to put your hands on me, and I hope you don't expect me to knock you upside your head. Like, you know.
Listen, but I will if you do. Listen, I will if you do the said above. Do not. Okay? Do not put your hands on me. I won't put my hands on you. But if you happen to just forget that little do not, I can't guarantee that I'm gonna
keep my hands
turn the other cheek.
Right. No, and that, yeah. I ain't with that. Like, you gotta protect yourself. So that's one thing. I don't expect physical abuse.
Right.
I damn sure don't expect verbal abuse. Like, I don't expect you to call me out my name, everything but a child of God, and I won't do the same to you.
Right.
I think that, that should be something that's unspoken, but sometimes some people may have to be a spoken boundary.
Girl, you got to break things down for some people. Some people, I don't know, the elevator gets stuck somewhere.
Yes, it does. It does. I said, emotional. Okay. If you can't say sorry after I told you that you hurt my feelings, I may have to like lay low on you for a little. Like,
ooh, girl. I'm dealing with that right now. And quite frankly, like, okay, so with that boundary, do you have a time limit? Like, sometimes we bump heads, not you and I, but people bump heads, and it's like, you know what, I really know that person. Let me give her a day or two to calm down, and then we speak. Do you have like a time limit where you're like, all right, that person should have calmed down by now, and you still don't get that phone call of I'm sorry? Is there a time limit to where you're just like, you know what, I'm good?
See that one, see, that's very touchy, because I'm one of those people where, how can I say this? So I know some people need time to really think things through, to digest what's going on, to understand what the hell just happened.
Right.
I don't mind giving people time to, like, really understand what's going on, so that we can talk about this. That way that we don't have to do damage control, have resentment because we may come out our mouths or whatever, come out our face with something. So I get that. But as far as, it shouldn't just be lingering like for months, especially when it's someone that you consider, like, you were really close with. This is not for acquaintances. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It goes back to who you consider a friend, who you consider an acquaintance. No,
right.
Like your road dogs, your ride or dies, your sister friends, your brother friends. Like, I feel like maybe give them a couple of weeks. And when I say a couple of weeks, I'm talking about like 1, 2. And we can revisit this. I do think they should. I mean, I wouldn't just necessarily cut someone off because they didn't do it in the time frame that I would like them. For me, I would say within 2 weeks to a month. But some people may need a little longer. But I feel like sometimes when you wait too long, it's just never going to be the same.
Absolutely. I don't necessarily agree with that whole 1 month thing, because my thing, see, I'm very mindful about the type of people that I surround myself with.
Right.
You know this. Like, I know a lot of people.
Right.
But there's very few that I consider to be friends. And trust, this ain't no walk in the park. Like, we have paid our dues. We are friends for a reason, you and I.
Right, absolutely.
Me and Shy, shout out to Shy. Hey, girl. We are friends for a reason. We have paid our dues. And that's not to, like, we've never bumped heads, you and I. We've never bumped heads. We've just never had that type of friendship.
Right.
It was never the type of friendship where I needed to give you 2 weeks to a month or vice versa.
Right. Right.
We, in our own sense, even as young women, were women enough or big girl enough at the time to just be like, listen, oh, my bad, that didn't come out right, or let's have a discussion. So when you say to give a person, like, I don't mind giving a person time.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is when your pride it means more to you than the friendship, then I know where I stand. Mm-hmm. And even though I won't harbor any ill feelings, I won't wish you, any bad or evil. Like, that's not even my MO. I'm not even that type of person. Like, I wish you the best. I want everybody to win, especially our people. Right. So, with that being said, like, I don't know if I could give somebody 2 weeks to a month. Ooh. Because I've never had to deal with that. So honestly speaking, I don't know how I would react to a person coming into my life and we just having a big enough disagreement to need time, and me having to give them 2 weeks to a month. Like, I honestly do not know how I would react in that situation. Now, like I just stated a couple of minutes ago, I'm currently dealing with that. And at this point, it's like, I don't even want the apology anymore. I don't want the apology. I'm good on that person, that individual. I wish them the very best. I really do. I wish them the very best, but I'm good because I don't need that type of energy in my circumference. Like, I really don't. If you can't be man enough or woman enough to approach me and be like, yo, XYZ, I wasn't feeling when you said, or I should not have said and whatnot, then I don't know if I want to continue having that type of friendship in the first place. Because the type of friends that I'm used to, and it's not to say that I'm not open-minded and so on and so forth, it's just I'm very hell-bent on not having negativity around me. The older I get, I want peace.
Girl, that's what I'm grateful is peace.
Okay, so I don't know if I could give that. Not particularly that person, but I don't know if I could give anyone that I considered a friend that amount of time without you coming to me, because I know the characteristics of myself and the type of energy I bring into my friendships. Like, once we have established and solidified that this is a friendship, I know the type of energy I bring to the friendships, and I deal with everybody differently. Like, I don't speak to you in a certain manner and vice versa. Whereas with Shy, we don't disrespectfully talk to each other in a certain way, but that
the dynamics are different. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. I can't do it, and I just humbly disagree with the time frame.
No, and that's okay. I think for me, because I just know people's upbringing has a lot to do with the way they communicate.
Absolutely.
They want to admit it or not. So the reason why I said for me 2 weeks to a month, maybe they grew up in a household, and like I said, this could be just me going off way on the deep end, but maybe they just grew up in a household where they really didn't communicate about things,
That's true.
If you don't talk about it, out of sight, out of mind, you don't talk about it, it ain't happened, on to the next. So right. I understand that dynamic, but for me, I'm one of those people, I don't mind waiting. I think for the most part, I'm a pretty patient person. So if it takes them a month, okay, fine. Sometimes it may even take longer than that. You may not have that conversation until like 5 years.
Oh, girl, no. We can have the conversation.
Yeah.
We can definitely have the conversation. Okay. It just won't be the same for me.
No, that's what I said. And honestly, it won't be the same. Because even for me, I don't know if it'll be the same. It's like, dang, like you waited that long. Like, what did I really mean that much to you?
To
Like,
you.
I was like literally put on like the back burner. You know what I mean? So I feel
like 2-3 stoves away.
Yeah, like a couple of houses away.
Girl.
But no, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty patient with that. So as far as emotional, that's for me. And the same goes, it's the other way around, vice versa. You know, if I hurt your feelings, and especially if I don't know, and if you did tell me, I would want to correct that.
Right.
Another thing is financial. Oh man.
Ooh, baby.
Guys, I'm just gonna talk about this briefly because you know us, we don't like talking about money like that. We don't like talking about money like that. But
absolutely not.
As far as unspoken boundaries financially, I do not expect you to always be asking me for money. Okay, and vice versa. And if you do ask me for money and you tell me that you're going to borrow it, I expect you to pay it back. And if you are having problems paying it back,
communicate.
Exactly. Communicate to your sis, all right? And when I communicate, I do not mean the day that I'm expecting the money to be in my bank account. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because people good for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, let me tell you what. No. This is what being an adult is. If you're having problems paying me back, that's fine. But just let me know in advance so I can take the necessary steps if I was dependent on that money to pay for something, and what.
Right.
That's what being an adult is. And I also want to make it clear, I said if you ask to borrow money.
Okay? Yes, keyword.
Borrow. All right. If I give you money, okay, as a gift, I don't expect it to be paid back because it's a gift.
Right.
So, that's that. And then last but not least, I just wanted to touch briefly on sexual boundaries, abuse.
Ooh, baby.
Yes. Well, I'm a married woman now, but if we are friends, then we are friends. We should not be having sex with each other, because then that's how you get yourself in entanglements. Now I'm joking. I had to throw joking, guys. I'm joking. I just had to throw that out there. It was just right there.
Listen, that word has been lingering around for some days. Okay, some days, honey. Now, you know what? I don't even feel bad for joking about it because hell, old boy done came out with a song.
Okay, look, listen, that's a whole other podcast,
whole another episode. But yes. You are absolutely right. I'm going to need some of these men and women. Yes, I'm a woman calling out women. I don't care. Okay? Understand, when you are friends with somebody, you are friends with somebody. I don't give a damn how good that person looks to you if it has not been established that you guys are going to be more and you are just friends and oh yeah, we just chilling, we just kicking it. Let me tell you, men, from a female's perspective, how uncomfortable it is to have said relationship or friendship, to have said friendship be put on the line when you just throw it out there, or you start with the light touches or the playing in the hair or the let me hold your hand. Listen, pump your brakes. Listen, I know I sound very passionate because I've been there quite a few times where people just don't know how to stay in the friend zone.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just boundaries.
Girl.
Get boundaries, even especially with that. Oh,
girl. Yeah. And y'all women, let me tell you something, okay? Stop with the mixed signals, please, because you got these men confused, and then they think they could just do that to everybody. If the man look good to you and you want him to be your man, speak up and say something. But don't get yourself in an entanglement And then later down the line, like, oh, well, we was just friends. No, 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 no. Can we please stop with the confusion? Either we is or we ain't together. Either we is or we ain't friends.
And that's
okay. I'm sorry. I had to get real ignorant in speech real quick because sometimes that's the only speech people understand.
No, but it like I said, it needs to be said because when we talk about boundaries, you know, a lot of times we don't talk about that part, and we have seen this time and time again. A lot of friendships
turning into situationships, aka entanglements,
right? Because boundaries were crossed, boundaries set, you know. So we have
right.
to, you know, keep that and like I said. Throughout this podcast, you're going to hear those words: respect, communication.
Absolutely. Those are major keys. If you don't get anything else from tonight's episode, please remember that no matter what dynamic you're talking about, friendship, relationship, family ship, respect and communication will take you a long way. It definitely. So, thank you. Oh, well, that was your
yeah, did you have any?
Unspoken. I mean, to be honest with you, I never really had to deal with boundaries until adulthood.
Okay.
And that is so mind-boggling to me because we're supposed to mature as we get older, right?
Yes, we are. Well, at least that's.
But it's crazy to me. And I don't know if it has to do with the type of upbringing that we've had because, you know, Mama Vet put that in place. You're not calling my house to speak to my daughter after, you know, you're not doing XYZ. No, you're not going to be roaming the streets. If all your homegirls went home and it's nothing but boys outside, bring your ass upstairs. Like, you know how Mama Vet was. Lord knows. So I don't know if it's because, you know, subconsciously you technically always tell yourself like, I'm never gonna be like my parent, and somehow
you become.
It's like, oh, don't call me after a certain time. No, my house is not a hangout spot. All the things your mama used to tell you. This is what you end up telling your friends.
It's so true.
Well, the friends that have been with you that long through your whole mama era, they already know. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes unspoken because I guess it was kind of spoken for you earlier on. So as y'all get older, you kind of just like, okay. But yeah, I never really had to deal with boundaries until I hit adulthood.
Right.
You know, and I met new friends, not my old friends, not my long-term friends. But new friends, you know, in my early 20s and stuff like that, it was kind of like, no, I'm not going to be hanging out with you till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know, just because, even if I did do it 1 or 2 times, don't get used to it or just expect it of me. Like, well, you did it last weekend. Okay, I don't want to hang out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning every weekend. Yeah, we was having fun, but sometimes your girl want to be home, especially now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like now
you got baby. Well, you ain't babies now; they kids and teenagers. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I just feel like the older we get, we really shouldn't have these type of conversations.
We shouldn't, but we have to. Yeah. One, because there are those coming up behind us, and for whatever reason, some, not all, of our generation has completely forgot to pass on the information. This new generation, girl.
This is Jen.
I'm not taking no shots at nobody, but upstairs is kind of hollow.
Well, I just think it's just a different time. We're talking about Gen Z, right? And yeah, it's different, girl. It really is. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm all for the evolution. I'm all for it. But I feel like the way they do things, like, listen, If this episode was about Gen Z, my daughter, who is a teenager, and her friends would definitely be the star of the show.
Gosh, don't be talking about my baby.
Listen, I love my baby. I love my baby with every fiber of my being. I love my baby. But honey, them friends of hers, and then they look at me like I'm crazy. But here's the crazy thing, right? They look at me like I'm crazy, but this is the same thing that my mom has done to you. My mom has done to my other friends. Like, did you call before you came over here? Like, the Gen Z, they supposed to just pop up. They could just pop up wherever they want to go, and you can't tell me what to do because you're not my mama type of attitude.
Right.
And not even my mama tell me. Like, girl, if this was a whole nother episode, I'm telling you, stay tuned for that one because I'm definitely going to get on the kids.
Yeah.
Okay?
We definitely talk about Gen Z and boundaries.
Oh, girl. I'm telling you, one of the next episodes, I'm definitely going to have my daughter as a guest. And you are more than welcome to come back because, guys, Lady J is also her godmother.
Yes, that's my goddaughter. That's why I said,
my
baby.
Listen.
I her baby. It's
cool, chill. But, no, seriously. As I got older, I started to look more in depth in the type of people, like I said, the type of people that I keep in my circumference. And I don't say this out loud, but I know internally, I definitely pay attention to your mannerisms.
Right.
How you talk, your speech. I listen. I'm very analytical. So I listen to, your family dynamics, and I'm not judging your family dynamic and how you were raised and so on and so forth. It just allows me to decipher whether or not I want to continue having you so close or dealing with you from a little distance.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not judging I don't judge anybody. Like, whatever is for you is for you. Whatever is for me is for me. But when I say whatever's for me is for me, that also includes your energy.
Yeah.
So if your energy is not for me, and you know that, I should not have to explain that. When your energy is off or someone's energy is off, let me back up. So, yeah, I won't say I have too many boundaries. Like, I don't really have any boundaries with you that were spoken or that were spoken. Because unspoken, it just came naturally because of that respect level. And we openly and constantly communicate with each other. Same thing with SHERA'E. And I'd say 2 or 3 more of my friends, like, we have unspoken boundaries. Don't call me past a certain time. You're not just popping up because I'm telling you, I hear you knocking, but you can't get in. I definitely will. Okay. Do not just pop up, and you better not pop up and gotta pee because you in trouble. Girl,
that's interesting. We'll talk. Maybe that's another podcast, but
we could do that on Gemini Talk. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Yes. Or Gemini.
Yes. Okay, Gemini Talk. Ow. I don't know. I don't really have my time. Definitely my time. Now that I'm more so verbal, I'm very verbal about. It's not an unspoken thing for me. It can't be because of all the different things that I have going on. The podcast, both podcasts, working, being a mom, trying to help and assist my parents. Just trying to live life and try to enjoy life as much as possible, especially during these crazy times, like just trying to keep it all together. So I'm very, very vocal about that. I don't really have any other my time. Yeah, I really don't have any other boundaries with my friends. Acquaintances, that's a different story. Like, I lays it out on the line. This that's not what's about to happen.
I can see you now. God.
In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm the feisty person.
Yeah, she's definitely the feisty one. I'm more like, okay, you know.
Girl, no. And if she too nice, I'm like, excuse me, what happened?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I'm telling on myself. Let me hush. Okay. I think I have one more question. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Last question, and we're going to cover this kind of like briefly because I think this is kind of super obvious. But what are some signs of an unhealthy friendship where boundaries are no longer needed? It's just time to cut the umbilical cord.
Woo, child. Okay. So I had 3.
Okay.
So the first one is the conversations are always about that person. Them. Always.
Hated it.
Okay. Now I get it. Sometimes you just need to get things off of your chest. And you just need someone to just be a listening ear or whatnot. But if I'm calling you and I have an issue and in some way, somehow the conversation started off about me and then it just turns back to being about you. And I see this is not a one, this happens every now and then. It's always like that. I'm going to fall back.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we discussed earlier, friendships are give and takes. Relationships,
absolutely,
give and takes. The second one I had is every time you talk to them, you feel emotionally drained.
Oh, girl, that was a good one. That is a good one.
Like I said, well, as y'all know, both me and SHERA'E are both Geminis. My moon sign is a Cancer, that's water, and her moon sign is Leo, which is fire. Okay.
Hence the feisty.
Yeah, now you get where the feisty is. But I'm very emotional, and it's just certain people, every time you talk to them, you just feel drained. Like, like SHERA'E, have you ever like talked to someone and it's like you really have to like just brace yourself, before you talk to them because you just be like, oh gosh, so
oh yes.
So, and like I said, that's not, if it's 1 or 2 times or even a little bit more than that, that's fine. But if it's every time,
that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue. And that's a big one for me. I'm glad you brought that up. That is definitely a big one for me because I've definitely had to cut some people off due to that being a reoccurrence.
Yeah.
Every time we talk, every time you see that person's name pop up on your phone, you're kind of like,
okay.
Girl, if I got to do all that, blocked.
Yeah. And then just the last one, they know every damn thing.
Well, don't you hate to know it all?
Yes.
You can't learn shit because they know it all.
Right. It's like you just know everything. You try to give them advice and it's pretty sound advice, it's not, you telling them to do some craziness and it's like, no, I know, you try to give them a different perspective, see things a different way. And
yes.
You just know everything. So that's another thing too. I have to fall back. So that's it for me.
Girl, I don't think I have a rebuttal.
Okay.
Or disagree. Like, I don't have none of that. I really truly feel like those are 3 key and very important signs to look for or take heed to. Because sometimes people continue in this unhealthy cycle of a friendship and don't even realize, like, this is not the kind of friendship that I was hoping that we was going to have. Initially coming into this thing, I didn't think this was going to be the so-and-so show,
Exactly.
So those are really, really, really good points. I definitely definitely agree with you there. I really don't have anything else. I'm not even going to touch nothing else on that one because I 100% agree. So I thank you. We're going to end it with that question. I thank you so much for continuously supporting me and pushing me on those days that I don't want to do anything. Okay. I definitely do. I really appreciate you. I really do. Tonight was very insightful for myself and hopefully for some of you guys as well. Or that it sparks something for you to start having those conversations with your friends, family members, your significant other. Sometimes you kind of just gotta get some feedback from somewhere else and take a step back and try to think of how to implement that in your own personal lives. So again, Lady J, I really appreciate you coming on tonight's episode and giving us some feedback. Stay tuned for an episode of Gemini Talk. We definitely got some really, really, really great topics, some things that need to be discussed. Oh girl.
Yes.
And I love you guys. Click, like, share.
Yes.
Both Convos with SHERA'E. I don't know, Convos with SHERA'E. And definitely click, like, share Gemini Talk podcast with Lady J and SHERA'E, myself.
Yes.
We are available on IG. We are available on Twitter. We are available on YouTube. We are available on Anchor. And, drumroll, we are available on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
And Spotify.
Yes.
And Spotify. So thank you for your love and continuous support. Continue to, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay tuned for more episodes from Convos with SHERA'E and Gemini Talk.
Yes. Yay!
Bye, guys.
Bye.